In this video, we're going to talk about one of the more exclusive neighborhoods in Gig Harbor. The neighborhood is called Canterwood, and we're going to get started on that right now. Hey everyone, my name is Darren Rivers and I'm the Northwest Realtor, and welcome to Living in Gig Harbor. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that little bell so you can get all your notifications of my weekly updates. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, text, email, even put a little comment in the comment section of this video and I'll be getting back to you right away. Let's get started by talking about a little of the history of Canterwood, how it came to be, when, all that sort of good stuff. So it really got started in 1988. Now, there is one little street in here that those houses were built in 1982. It's like 6 or 7 homes on that particular little street, which is a little cul-de-sac. And then Canterwood was developed around that. So like I said, it started really in 1988. Started at what was supposed to be an equestrian community. You know, there's trails around the community for horse riding and they have some stables and things like that. And I'm not quite sure what happened. I wasn't around here back then, but it quickly transitioned into more of a golf community. They built the golf course in 1989, and ever since then, the community has continued to build up around the golf course. The whole area is about 700 acres or so, and currently has about 815 homes. It's pretty much full. There's a couple vacant lots left to build an individual house here or there, but I'm pretty sure that we're pretty much maxed out on size here in Canterwood. Okay, so Canterwood, it is a private community. It has 24-hour security. It has gates that you have to get into in order to access the neighborhood. There's one gate that is for the public or visitors. The main gate, it always has a security guard there that checks you in. If you have a pass, they wave you on in. Otherwise, you have to stop, tell them where you're going, show them your driver's license, things like that. Okay, so let's dive into the resident aspect of Canterwood. You know, there's many different things that go on here. And, you know, like I said, there's the country club and then there's the community. And those two are not tied together. They're totally separate. Now, many of the community members here, or community residents here, are members of the golf club, but also the golf club has many members of it that are not residents in Canterwood. So you do not have to be part of one in order to be part of the other. That's often a misconception that people have. So as far as the community itself, it is governed by an HOA. The HOA dues are about $135 a month, and that all goes towards, you know, your security, the personnel that do those duties for us, the equipment involved, of course, the road maintenance, snow plowing for when it snows, there's a community park, things like that. Your HOAs go towards all of those. So, like I mentioned earlier, about 815 homes, and they range from, there's a few areas with some condos that line part of the fairway on number 18, also line the right side of the fairway on number 1. There are some townhomes that are on the other side of the street from hole number 1. There are some smaller residential areas. One of them is called Forest Village. These are much smaller lots. The homes are a bit smaller than the normal Canterwood homes, you know, 2,000 to 2,500 square feet or so. They're single family residences, but they're on very small lots, so not much yard upkeep in there. And then the traditional Canterwood home. And, you know, these lots are typically around a half acre. There's some that are slightly smaller. There's some that are slightly larger. There's a couple that are really big, but that's, you know, when I say really big, like 2 or 3 acres, but that's maybe 1 or 2 houses. That is not the norm. People often ask about price range, and you know, just like everywhere else in the country over the last couple years, the prices have really gone up, and particularly here in Canterwood. So to give you an idea of basically what you're looking at, for some of those condos, which are 2,000 square feet, 2 bedroom, Oh, by the way, let me backtrack a little bit. The condos, the townhomes, and those smaller community like Forest Village, they have their own additional HOA on top of the normal Canterwood HOA. That's because they take care of yard maintenance and some exterior upkeep and things like that. But for those type places, you're looking at, gosh, close to $1 million now. They haven't quite broken that barrier, but they're getting close. Some of the condos are going for over $900,000 now. Some of those townhomes and stuff are in the upper eights. They've just really gone up over the last couple of years. And then the traditional Canterwood homes, you get a wide range, okay? So you have square footage from 3,000 square feet all the way up to like 7,000 square feet. You have homes that were built in 1989 that have not been updated yet, that, they're well maintained and they're taken care of, but they're 1989. And, so those might go for 1.2, 1.3, and then you have some newer homes that are only a year or two old, or some of those older homes that have been completely updated. And, we've had some sales in here of over $2 million now. We broke that $2 million mark not too long ago. So you get a wide spectrum, but this is not the normal, cookie cutter neighborhood where every house looks the same. We do have one little section. Garrett Homes built a little cul-de-sac. It's got about 17 houses in there, and they more are the same style. They look a little bit more like a tract home. Now they're really nice and they're better than the standard tract home, if you will, but they're more along those lines that are not all custom builds and things like that. They're a little bit smaller also. 2,200, 2,600 square feet right in there. All the newest, latest and greatest features on the inside. Those two are also on slightly smaller lots, and you'll see those going for about 1.2, 1.3 right in that range. But the traditional Canterwood homes are, they're all custom. There are some spec homes in there, but those builders really customized them. So you're not going to drive down the street and see one house that's identical to the other, but just flip-flop floor plan. That doesn't happen in here. So let's get into some of the benefits of being a resident of Canterwood. And one of the biggest things is it's just a really nice, quiet, peaceful, safe place to live. The cars are it's just a residential community. There's no fast traffic. There's no major roads or anything. You see kids out playing in the streets and riding their bikes and riding their skateboards. Well, actually, some of the skateboard stuff's been knocked down because they were using some of the hills to go really fast. So some of those places it's not allowed anymore. But it's a really nice family environment. You get a big age range of people here. You have anywhere from young couples with young kids, all the way up to retirement age, and whose grandkids are coming over and visiting. So you have a very wide range. It's not dominant one way or the other. And like I said, it's safe. It's a fully gated community. We have 24-hour security. So if your 12-year-old kid is going over to somebody's house on the other end of the neighborhood, chances are you know who that is, how they're going to get there. You probably don't have to worry about anything, getting hit by a car doing 70 miles an hour down Peacock Hill or something like that. Those concerns are null and void here. So it's a really nice, safe community. The security's got some pretty cool benefits to it. If you happen to be out of town, they'll come and check on your house a couple times a day. If there's packages left on your front porch, they'll pick them up and store them for you until you get back. Things like that. There's just some nice little benefits to having the security here and some of the things they have to offer. Like I mentioned, there's a community park. So on the east side of the neighborhood, when you come in off the back gate of Canterwood, this is over by where the HOA office is and the Equestrian Facilities are. There's a park there. It's got a sand volleyball net. It's got a jungle gym. It's got a picnic table. It's got a big grass area. You can play frisbee or croquet or things like that. There's also a couple tennis courts there that are for the public, a half basketball court. I think you can set up a pickleball net in the tennis courts there. And that's all part of the community. You don't have to be part of the golf club for that. That is HOA property, and if you are a resident here or a guest of a resident here, you're entitled to use that. That just part of your dues goes towards maintaining that, and you're free to use it whenever you like. As I mentioned earlier in this video, this started as an equestrian community, and that's still present. It's not the most prevalent thing there is here, but it is very much present. There is stables that residents have priority to use. If they're not full with residents, they will rent them out to other people, so people can board their horses here. But there's stables right here in the community. There is an enclosed arena where there's the club. There's a horse riding club. There's lessons for kids. I think they can do birthday parties up there, things like that. There's also some outdoor enclosed areas, so the horses don't have to stay in their little stables the whole time. But for those horse people out there, and I know there are some that are this is really all encompassing for them, you have the facilities here to use that. I am not a horse person. I don't know much about it. I've never been involved with it. So I'm not the local expert on equestrian stuff, but I do know the facilities are here, and I can help get any questions answered for you in that regard. It's a simple phone call for me. So there you go. If you are a horse person looking to board your horse near your house but not on your property, this has got a good facility for it. So let's dive into the golf club aspect of things. Okay, so like I mentioned, you don't have to be a resident here to be a golf member, and if you're a golf member, you don't have to be a resident here. So they are separate, but many of the people that live in the community, about 35%, 40% or so, are members of the golf club in one way or another. It's right here in your backyard, and it's got so many things that you can take advantage of. Whenever I moved in here and raised my kids in here, it was just a no-brainer. We used the golf facilities or the country club facilities almost daily. So let's go into some of these things. Okay, so there's a few different memberships of various levels. There's a social membership where you have access to the gym, the pool, a couple of the tennis courts, obviously the bar and the restaurant, and you're able to go play the golf course a couple times a year. I think it's 6, so that's more than a couple, but you know what I mean. You have a limited access to that. But if you want to be involved in the activities here, they have parties and trivia night and New Year's celebrations and all these things that you, as a social member, you're able to use all of that. Then there's another level. It's called like the tennis membership. So there's a separate tennis court, or there's 4 of them actually, that they built not too long ago that they actually put a bubble over. It's kind of like an inflatable tent that's all enclosed, and it's up for 6 months out of the year, heated, the whole 9 yards. So you have an indoor tennis facility all winter long for the tennis clubs. There's a men's club, a women's club, there's a pickleball night, all of it year round. And then sometime in the spring, they take that structure down, and you have 4 outdoor courts that they use all summer and into the fall until it's time to put that bubble back up. They call it a bubble because it's literally held up by air pressure. The air pressure is just slightly higher than normal atmospheric pressure, and it's a pretty common practice, and it's a way that takes about 2 days to take it down and about another 2 days to put it back up. So that's the tennis membership. And then there's the golf membership. And the golf membership gets you access to everything. Obviously the golf course, the driving range, the practice facilities, as well as tennis courts, the gym, the pool, everything like that. So let's start diving into each of the individual things. Okay, so there is a fitness center here. It's not huge, but it's got plenty of stuff. It's great for what goes on in there and for the membership here. The most people I've ever seen in there at one time is about 5. Oftentimes you go in there and you're by yourself, or there's 1 or 2 other people. So you're not waiting for machines or anything like that. Does it have everything in there? No. But does it have everything that you pretty much need? Yeah, it's got some free weight dumbbells, a bunch of elliptical type and treadmills and stationary bikes, and then some, they're not Nautilus, but that's the old term for it, Nautilus style equipment. So there's the fitness facility that's available for all levels of membership. And again, this is for the country club membership. It has nothing to do with the HOA. So there's the fitness center. Then there's the pool. Again, it's for country club members. It's open sometime in May, closes I think at the end of September. They have lap swimming for adults early in the mornings. There's kids swim lessons all summer long. There's actually a kids swim team where they do competitions against other places. And then all afternoon, every afternoon is just, you're hanging out at the pool, and they have cabanas, and they have a little bar there, and you can get a drink, or you can get a sandwich or a burger, or finger food type stuff, some salads, things like that. A limited menu, but it's all right there. And it's really cool. They made some games up there. You can do shuffleboard out on the deck. There's a hot tub. There's a little kids pool that's only like 18 inches deep. So for the little ones that you want to be right there and make sure they're safe. They have lifeguards on duty during all the playtime, the free swim time, if you will. So it's a really nice facility. So we've already talked about the tennis stuff a little bit. There's 4 regular outdoor courts, which are right by the pool. They're always outdoor, summer and winter. And they did do some pickleball courts within those as well. And then, like I said, there's the 4 courts up on the hill, which are enclosed during the winter, open during the summer. And like I said, if you want to go to the other side of the neighborhood, there's 2 more tennis courts over there, but that's for the whole community, not just the country club. So there's a lot of tennis options within the community here of Canterwood. And lastly is the golf course. And that's probably what Canterwood is most known for, is its golf course. It's ranked one of the top in the state. It's one of the more difficult ones in the state. It's just really nice. It's really the crown jewel of the country club aspect of things. They hold junior competitions here. It's open almost year round. It shuts down a couple times for snow and then some maintenance things here and there. But for the most part, you can play year round. We're February right now. I just played the other day, and I'm probably going to go play again in another day or two. So it's if you're a golfer, it's for the full family. My kids started playing when they were little tykes, 5 or 6 years old, and my older one played junior golf all throughout junior high and high school. He was up there virtually every day at the range. And what was great about being here in Canterwood is I knew where he was, I knew who he was with, and he was only, a couple minutes away from my house. So that's just kind of a personal thing on there for me, but it's one of the nice things about this neighborhood is if your kids are involved in the club, you know where they're at, and you know who they're with, and they tend to be good kids, and you know who their parents are, and just all the things that give you reassurance as a parent that your kids that they're safe, and that they're having a good time, and that they're being looked after, things like that. Those are all some of the benefits that you get to being here in Canterwood and being a member of the club. So let's talk about the atmosphere around here. And this is one of the great things about it. It's just, like I mentioned earlier, it's nice, it's clean. Everybody's yards are maintained. There's no trash around. There's no graffiti. You see people just out and about active. There's one street that has a sidewalk on it, but for the most part, there's no sidewalks. But this is just very much a small community. And you see people out walking their dogs or jogging or riding their bikes, or, you see a lot of golf carts driving around because they drive from their house up to the restaurant or up to the golf course, or if their buddies just having a barbecue, they just take their golf carts. So you see lots of golf carts running around. Halloween here is off the charts because everybody gets their golf carts out, they take their kids in the golf carts, they decorate them all up, and I mean it's a zoo. It's a fun zoo, but it's a zoo. It's really, really fun for kids, and people have little parties out in their front yards. Kids come out, parents stop, have a cocktail in front of a fire pit in the front yard, things like that. So it's a really cool atmosphere as far as that goes. And like I said, it's active. You have a real sense of community here. You get to, know your neighbors and your friends. And, there's never a time that I'm driving out of here or in here that I don't wave at people that I know. So it's, like I said, it's really nice. It's super nice. So there you go, folks. That's my little tutorial on Canterwood here in Gig Harbor, Washington. If you have any questions about the neighborhood, give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email. Make a comment in the comment section of this video. I've been a resident here for 16 years, so I know this place like the back of my hand. I've sold a lot of homes in here. I've helped people buy homes in here. I'm a member of the golf club here, so if you want information, get a hold of me. I know it all. That sounds awful. It's not that I'm well educated about this community. So forgive the last statement. I'm probably going to leave it in the video because it's kind of funny. But anyway, like I said, I have a wealth of information when it comes to Canterwood, Gig Harbor in general for that matter. I've been a resident of Gig Harbor for 26 years. So, but specifically in Canterwood, I've been in here 16 years. So feel free to reach out. I'd answer any questions for you, and we'll see you on the next video.